Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Kathy Rain. I think we're probably going to ask the grandma about some of the names we heard on that tape we listened to last time, so let's start there and see what happens. I definitely think there's some sort of Air Force...
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
...link to all of
Very
this.
well, dear.
Okay, yeah. McConnell AFB.
Can you tell me anything about McConnell Air Force Base?
It's not very far from Conwell Springs. Joseph was stationed there for some time during the war.
Okay.
I believe they're still training young pilots there today.
So, when did Grandpa enlist in the Air Force?
Oh, it was barely past the honeymoon when Joseph left to fight in that terrible war, together with his best friend Charles and my brother Andrew. Those were nerve-wracking years. I was so worried I thought I would burst. Every short visit from Joseph was a joy, but he kept going back to the front, to my great dismay. When I told Joseph about being pregnant with your father, he finally realized that enough was enough. He had done his duty. Shortly thereafter, he returned to a quiet farmer's life in this very house, helping your great-grandfather with the crops, until he passed.
Okay, the drowned teen girl.
Do you know anything about a young girl drowning around here?
Oh, yes. It was the saddest thing. She was only 16. We never really knew the family. They preferred to keep to themselves.
Do you remember the name of the girl or her family?
I'm awfully sorry, dear. I just can't recall.
That's okay, Grandma. I was just wondering why Grandpa would have wanted to save this.
Joseph was always affected by the tragedy of others. Perhaps he wanted to do something for the family. In any case, he didn't speak to me about it.
I think there's more to it than that. Cocky?
Does the nickname Cocky mean anything to you?
Sounds vaguely familiar. It reminds me of the aviator call signs Joseph and his friends gave one another. Joseph was vigilante. I can't count the number of times he got into trouble for breaking the rules. To this day, I have no idea how he always managed to land on his feet.
Must be hereditary, given the things I've gotten away with. Every time I wake up, I am genuinely surprised that I'm not in jail.
I'm sure it's not that bad, dear.
I don't know.
But to get back to the subject, you don't have any idea of who this Cocky is?
I'm afraid not, but the Air Force might be a good place to start.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Must have been like a squad mate or something. Call sign. Okay. Is there anything else we want to get her opinion on? The math book, overexposed picture. Let's ask about some of these things. Does she know about this?
Brams, can you tell me anything about this picture?
It looks awfully bright. Perhaps something was wrong with the camera.
Yeah, maybe. I should try to figure something out tomorrow at the university.
That's the plan. Alright, what about this photo of the soldiers?
Look at this photo I found in the locked briefcase.
Goodness, I haven't seen that picture in years.
Ah, she recognizes it.
This was taken when Joseph was stationed at McConnell Air Force Base. That's him right there on the left.
What about the other two?
I don't remember the name of the smiling man in the back. The gentleman on the right was Joseph's best friend, Charles Wade.
Okay. Fine. Charles Wade. I wonder if the person she doesn't recognize then is Cocky. But unless Cocky is Charles's sign, maybe call sign.
What can you tell me about Charles Wade?
Well, I do know he has made quite a name for himself since he and Joseph went to war together. Apparently, he came up with some brilliant piece of engineering for the airplanes. They use it everywhere now.
Any idea how to get in touch with him?
I'm afraid not, dear. I haven't seen him for years. He and Joseph grew apart before you were born.
Okay.
Any particular reason for that?
Falling out?
Oh, not that I know of.
Maybe some sort of incident. Did we show her these
Does
things?
this coin mean anything to you, Grandma?
I'm afraid not, dear.
Okay. Not the coin.
Do you know anything about this story, Grandma?
Not much, dear. It was the saddest thing. The girl was only 16 years old. We never really knew the family. they preferred to keep to themselves.
Do you remember their names?
Let me think. I'm awfully sorry, dear. I just can't recall.
Yeah, okay.
That's quite all right, Grandma. I was just wondering why Grandpa would have wanted to save this.
Joseph was always deeply affected by the tragedy of others. Perhaps he wanted to do something for the family to ease their pain.
So I think that's just what she said.
In any case, he didn't speak to me about it.
It's just what she said before, wasn't it? When we asked from here, so...
See you later, Grams.
Take care, dear.
So we need to figure out about the Air Force Base. So I wonder if we can potentially like look it up in the phone book. I feel like looking things up in the phone book might be quite important in this game. We have looked things up in the phone book before, haven't we? Not that it got us anywhere, but... Oh yeah, look at all this, look. McConnell AFB?
Alright, got it.
Okay, so we've written down the number.
Nah, nothing like that in here.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No result for that.
But Charles Wade, maybe?
Damn, no Charles Wade in here.
Ah.
Was worth a shot, but being rich and famous and all, I guess he's got a hidden number.
Okay.
No hit for Wade Industries either, but it was kind of a long shot for them to have an office in this small county anyway.
Yeah, maybe we can find out.
Try to get a hold of him some other way.
Maybe we can find out via the Air Force Base.
McConnell Air Force Base, how can I help you?
Ah, okay.
Hi, I was just wondering if you had time to answer a few questions.
Sure thing, ma'am. Ask away.
Okay. Wow.
What can you tell me about McConnell Air Force Base?
This is one of the oldest Air Force bases in the U.S., established during World War I. The main purpose of it is to train fighter pilots. The McConnell Flight School is well renowned all around the country. In the late 80s, the school started accepting a limited number of civilian applicants due to the high demand. Some of the most famous dogfighters in U.S. history, such as Ethan Fireball Jenkins, Joseph Vigilante Rain, and Brett Savior Myers, trained at this very base. Charles Wade, the great industrialist, did too. Some claim that many of his revolutionary ideas came from the former chief mechanic here, the late Niles Bloom.
Interesting. Thanks for the history lesson.
Okay, incident in 81.
Do you know anything about what happened to Joseph Rain in 81?
I know that he was no longer stationed here at the base at that time. He'd left the Air Force decades earlier. But as a Conwell Springs citizen, sure, I've heard the rumors just like everybody else.
Rumors?
How he was found by the sheriff all messed up, walking out of the woods with some kind of unexplained brain damage.
Oh yeah, okay.
Any theory as to what he was doing out there?
I'm afraid not, ma'am. But I'm positive that it had nothing to do with this base or our operations here.
Okay, what can you tell me about his service at McConnell?
Well, Joseph Rain is a legend around here. This pile of metals weighs more than my car. I was fortunate enough to meet him before he suffered his injury, and I must say, what an inspiring man. I'm positive that he would have made General if he'd stuck around.
Any idea of why he quit? He looks so happy in the pictures from the war.
Oh, your family, ma'am?
Granddaughter.
Well, then I'm sorry for your loss. I heard about his recent passing.
Appreciate it, buddy. So, about him quitting.
I shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but some say the war broke him. PTSD. Me? I don't think so. When I met him, he had this aura about him, like he wasn't afraid of anything. Maybe it was just guilt. He ended a lot of lives, but that's just me speculating.
Gotcha. Thanks for the thoughts.
Something definitely happened. Do they know about this?
I don't see a reason to ask him about that.
I wouldn't have thought so either. Cocky?
Do you recognize the aviator call sign, Cocky?
Afraid not, ma'am. I know all the call signs here, and I'm positive it's not one of them.
This isn't current, though. It might have been used as early as World War II.
Oh, that's unfortunate. We don't keep any official records of call signs. The only option I can think of is to get a hold of somebody who was around back then.
Alright.
Any suggestions?
It'd have to be Wade, I guess.
The only person I can think of who is still alive would be Charles Wade.
Yeah.
The billionaire. He was stationed at McConnell?
He was, up until the point when he founded Wade Industries in the 60s.
We already knew that, though. It's kind of weird that she was, like, surprised by that.
I'm trying to get a hold of Charles Wade. Would you happen to know how to reach him?
I'm sorry, ma'am, but Charles Wade is a public figure. He has explicitly asked us not to provide his contact details to anyone.
Is there any way you could make an exception? I really need to talk to Mr. Wade.
Oh, can do. I can't really help you out unless you have some sort of official business.
Okay. Plead with him, pretend to be a cop, give up. I mean, he knows we're not a cop because we said that we were Joseph Rain's granddaughter. I mean, I suppose he doesn't specifically know we're not a cop, but that would be kind of weird.
But what if it was a matter of life and death?
Ma'am, if you're in a life-threatening situation, I suggest you call 911.
Okay.
I do have official business. I'm Deputy Reagan. I'm calling from Conwell Springs Sheriff's Department.
That's not gonna work.
Nice try. Do you know what caller ID is? You can clearly see that you're not calling from the station. Goodbye.
Damn, I can't pull that off if I call from here.
Maybe we can call from the police station, though. Okay. That could be an option. Call from the police station. Alright, let's head out. We'll go to the police station. We'll see if we can use the phone there. I think it's where the guy was in jail, right? That's where the phone was, because there was a thing about what's-his-face not using it for personal calls. So do we need to do the whole thing with the coffee again, or... No, we don't. Okay, fine. No, okay, it's just automatically going to do that. Good. I'm glad that we don't have to keep doing that. Alright, let's use the phone here, see if this works. It's going to be suspicious to get a call from someone at the office, at the sheriff's office, just like directly after someone else tried it.
McConnell Air Force Base, how can I help you?
Hi. I was just wondering if you had time to answer a few questions.
Sure thing, ma'am. Ask away.
Charles Wade.
I'm trying to get a hold of Charles Wade. Would you happen to know how to reach him?
I'm sorry, ma'am, but Charles Wade is a public figure. He has explicitly asked us not to provide his contact details to anyone.
Is there any way you could make an exception? I really need to talk to Mr. Wade.
Oh, can do. I can't really help you out unless you have some sort of official business.
We are. We're at the police station.
I do have official business. I'm Deputy Reagan. I'm calling from Conwell Springs Sheriff's Department.
You can see that you're actually calling from the station. You say you're a cop? You don't sound like a cop.
How do you know that? Ignore his doubts, threaten to report him, accuse him of being sexist. I mean, that's a bit of a tricky one. I mean, we could do that. Ignore his doubts, threaten to report him. Should we just do that? I'd see. It sounds like it might be funny.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? It's just because I'm a woman, right? Women don't belong in law enforcement? Is that what you're saying? That's so sexist.
Now that's hardly what...
Do you have any idea what I have to go through every day? Nobody takes me seriously. The dirty looks, the sexual innuendos,
Relax, okay? I'll check the files.
Wow, that actually worked.
555-7641.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice. Alright, well, should we just try ringing that then?
Wade residence?
Hi, this is Kathy Rain. I'm calling for Charles Wade.
He doesn't live here anymore. What's this about? What do you want with my father?
Should we just be honest and
I'd
say?
just like to have a quick word with Mr. Wade. It's about my grandfather, Joseph Rain.
You're 20 years late, girl. My father has neither time nor energy to deal with you people.
But
This conversation is over. Unless my father explicitly says he wants to talk to you, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
what a stuck-up, overclass witch. Well, she hasn't heard the last from me. I'm going to talk to that old man one way or another.
I mean, I don't know how. How are we going to get him to talk to us? Alright, well, at least we got a phone number for him. I don't know if there's like some other way we can use that phone number. We got what have we got to do now then? Because we got the number, but how can we use it? Should we have a look at our little book? Can we look at the book here? No, we can't. Alright, let's go back home. Well, not to our home, to our grandma's home. Okay, let's have a look at our book. See if there's anything that we can... So we've got the Incident 81, McConnell AFB, drowned teen girl, Cocky, and Charles Wade. So maybe we need to find out more about this drowned teen girl, but we will do that in the next episode because we're out of time. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne Nate, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle, Hobo, Numinous, Kumadim, Paulione, Flossie the Sheep, JohnCon555, Chrissy, Paul James, and Zolties, and I'll see you next time.